I gave up. I gave up a lot of things. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I used to be, big smoker, and I gave up. I gave up smoking, and I told myself I don't want to smoke until I reach my goal of six figures. And in the first year of network marketing, the first year of being an entrepreneur, I actually did accomplish that goal of hitting six figures. And when I accomplished that goal, I still looked at smoking like that's not something I want to do, right? Sometimes you sacrifice things that are holding you back and you tell yourself, okay, I'll get it back when my goal is accomplished. And then when you accomplish your goal, you're like, I don't even want those things back, right? So I realized, boom, I was smoking. I gave that up. I was playing video games. I was really big on video games, Call of Duty, Fortnite, all those good stuff, all that good stuff. And I told myself I'm gonna get rid of playing video games as well. And and when I hit my goal, I didn't even start to play video games again. Right? There was a lot of things that I just put to the side, and I told myself, yo, these are the things that are gonna hold me back. And unless I get rid of them, I'm not going to see myself level up.
Wow. And I'm glad that you pointed that out about distractions, right? The distractions is definitely one of the challenges that we face along the way when, we are, when we're striving for success, when we're going for our first six figures, seven figures. And the way that you were able to manage that and stop the smoking and stop the playing of the video games and stop hanging out with certain people that weren't benefiting you, it showed me that, you're someone who's willing to sacrifice for the things that you want so that the things that you want don't become the sacrifice. Mm-hmm. Now, I want to be able to get into what you were talking about, environment, bro, because, due to your environment, you went through a very scary situation in your life when, you were shot twice. And you were almost this close from losing your life. And I'm thankful to God. And still to this day, I thank God that he gave you another chance. But I want you to talk to people about that experience, because not only did you get shot, bro, but you got shot, and the next day you went and ran a training with bullet holes in your body and literally still recovering from it. Tell people about that resilient attitude. What was it that, kept you so strong in that moment to still show up to that training, still show up on calls, and still do everything that you wanted to do because you understood how important it was for you to be successful? Talk to people about that experience right there.
I do appreciate you for asking that question. I think, man, that situation right there was very, very. I remember it so vividly. And I can never forget what had happened, what had occurred. This is after I've reached six figures in the entrepreneur journey. This is something to where I went back home to my home city, and I went out and I was around individuals that I shouldn't have been around. I was doing things that I shouldn't have done. Right? We were leaving a club at 2:30 a.m. Right? And a situation occurred to where I was in the wrong spot at the wrong time. Right? And a lot of us get caught up in the wrong spot at the wrong time. And I definitely didn't see this coming. But what had happened was, an altercation had happened, gunshots go off, and usually, you're a brother like me. You understand, what's going on. When you hear gunshots, you start to run, bro.
We're running.
We running. We're running, right? So I hear the gunshots, and I start running, and I think I'm perfectly fine. And while I'm running, I look at my arm, and I start to see my arm bleeding, and I'm like, okay. Like, why is my arm bleeding? And I realize I start to put my hand on my chest. And just to think back of it, I was like, wow, I heard the gunshots. I'm the one that got shot, right? And I'm the one that got shot. And I start to hold my chest. I start to lose vision. I start to lose my hearing. And I don't know where I'm going. All I know is I got my hand on my chest and I'm bleeding. And one of my best friends comes and puts my arm around him and takes me to the car. And when he takes me to the car, there's two people sitting in the front, in the driver and passenger seat. There's two people sitting in the back with me. I'm in the middle seat, and I'm sitting back there. I'm laying down kind of, and I'm just holding my chest. And this is something to where it's, I'm holding my heart. Right, that's where I'm holding, because the bullet was a half an inch away from my heart, right? And I'm holding my heart, and and the people in the car, they're yelling at me. They're telling me, "Hey, talk, like, keep talking, keep talking." And I'm just looking at them, and I'm not really saying anything because I'm thinking in my head right now. And all I'm thinking is, man, like, I think it's my time to go. I honestly feel like I'm not gonna make it out of this. Like, this doesn't feel like it's real. And they're all yelling at me. They're telling me, "Hey, keep talking." And like I said, I'm thinking to myself, and what I'm thinking about really changed my life. It changed my perspective. It changed. It made me appreciate the little things. And when I'm thinking, I remember I closed my eyes and I started to look at, I started to think about God. And I told, like, when people, are in near death situations, they start to ask God for forgiveness, forgive me for all my sins and stuff like that. I wasn't really doing that. I closed my eyes and I started to talk to God, and I said, "Thank you for my health. Thank you for my family. Thank you for the people around me. Thank you for this, and thank you for that." I started blessing. I started just being thankful for the situation of what had happened. And then I asked God one question, and I said, "But why me?" I said, "Why do I have to die before my why?" And my why is my pops. My pops is almost 69 years old. He has cancer. He's a dude that works heavily, heavily, heavily. And I asked myself, I said, why do I have to die before my why? And that was the eye opener for me, right? And I don't ever cry in front of anybody, and I wasn't crying. And when I got to the hospital, this is when COVID was really, really, really big. And I'm gonna tell you why, my whole trajectory of life just changed after that. So when I was on the hospital bed and they're taking me through an emergency room, um, the doctors are moving slow, the nurses are moving slow, vision is still blurry, and I sit right there, and I'm like, man, like, I can't take time for granted. And I start bawling. I start crying, and this is not something that I usually do. I start crying, and I'm asking myself, I'm like, is this the end? Is this it? And you know, I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm gonna be very transparent. I was crying, and I had my eyes closed, and it was hurting. And the crazy thing is when they were rushing me to the bed, right? They started ripping my clothes off, right? So they cut my shirt open, and then they started cutting my jeans. And Nano, they started cutting my jeans, and I had some Micah Mary jeans on, right? And as they were cutting my jeans, the pain went away. I stopped crying. My eyes opened up. I said, "Yo, yo, 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 yo." I said, "These are $1,200 pair of jeans." I said, "What are y'all doing?" And right after that, the pain went away. After that, everything had went away after that. And the nurse looked at me. She said, $1,200 jeans are your life. I said, "Cut the jeans." I said,
Cut the jeans.
I said, "Just cut the jeans," right? And I'm sitting on the bed. They cut my jeans. They cut everything, right? And I'm sitting on the bed, and I'm looking at my body, and I see a bullet hole go through that went through my arm and went out through the other side of my arm. I see another bullet hole that went through the side of my chest and went out through the middle of my chest. So I'm looking at 4 wounds right now, and I'm asking myself, I'm like, okay, I don't know how many times I got shot.
Such a powerful story. I want to keep listening, but I want to get the call started, fam. So let's get today's call started. Grand Rising, happy Friday, TGIF. Thank God it is Friday, and I am always so blessed and always so grateful to finish off a good week. Because anytime we get a chance to pour into ourselves all week, is always a pleasure. It's always an honor. It's always so important that, we went the whole week. We did Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and today, Friday. And it always feels so good to finish a full week. So thank you guys so much for jumping on today's call. Thank you guys for making it a priority. I know that it's not mandatory to jump on these calls. I know that you guys also have life and kids and work and school and different ways. So I know you guys do your best to be here as much as you guys can. So I'm always grateful. I do them regardless, whether there's one of you guys on this call, or whether there's 200, 300, 500 of you guys. I always make sure to do this call because I never know who needs the message at that specific time. So I'm always blessed and grateful to run these calls. If you're new on today's call, my name is Nano. I am the host of the Mornings with Nano Lives. They're live on YouTube and on Instagram, Monday through Friday around 10:30 a.m.-ish. We usually get started around this time. I usually play a little audio prior to getting started just to let everybody in, get everybody set up with their notebooks, their pens, get everything going. And, we teach here everything from books that I've read to leadership, spiritual side of success, Bible study, and we mix it all in. And it's all about becoming the best version of yourself. Hey, come here. So it's one of those things we want to make sure that we prioritize. But today I got a powerful topic. Recently I was given this book, and it was called Die with Zero. And one of my friends, he was giving it away. He has a big library, and one of the books that stood out to me was Die with Zero. And I'm like, you know what? I like the idea that die with zero. And I was always so intrigued into what does it mean to die with zero, right? And I started to do my research. I started to, understand more of the concept of the book. And I was like, okay, I want to do a training on this. Like, I want to understand, how this actually is and what's the idea of dying with zero and the art of living fully, right? How can we live fully? How can we live a life that is filled with all the necessary things that we need in life, and that is going to allow us to live a life of joy, abundance, gratitude, opulence, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So today's training is called Die with Zero, the art of living fully. And I'm going to go over the 4 ways that you can live your life fully. And I want you guys to take this training very powerfully, because it is some valuable information that's in here that all of us need to know and all of us need to understand. So put a 444 in the chat box if you guys are ready for today's training. Put a 444. Amazing. Well, it's so good to see a lot of familiar faces here. Thank you guys so much for hopping on. So Die with Zero, the art of living fully. Point number 1 that we got to understand, and this is an important one: optimize life, not just wealth. I want you to write that down. Point number 1, optimize life, not just wealth. All right. You see, the goal isn't to die rich, is to live rich. All right. The goal is not to die rich. The goal is to live rich. And believe it or not, most people spend their times and spend their lives focusing on accumulating money. I'd be lying to you guys if I didn't tell you guys that I haven't been that person, right? But what ends up happening is when you focus so much on chasing something, don't we know that when we chase something, it runs away from us? Right? The more we chase something, the more it runs from us. And most of the time, what we end up chasing for, we never ever get a chance to fully grab it. All right. So what I want to make sure that you guys understand that is that it's so important to focus on optimizing your life. What does that mean, Nano? All right. Enhancing the quality of how you live. Right? How can you do that? Right? Well, instead of waiting for someday to travel, for someday to learn, for someday to buy that book, for someday to have that dinner, start to schedule those moments in your life. Start to schedule those experiences on a weekly basis, right? Let's start doing more of what fulfills us. I've been a big product of that. All right, because I understood that, yes, I can go out here and I can chase money, but I also want to live my life in the process. So I'm the type of person that I'll take that trip. I'll go sit at that favorite restaurant that everybody keeps talking about. I'll make that investment. I'll go to that event. I'll buy that book that's super popular and that's changing people's lives, right? I'll make that investment. I'll do what's required because remember, if you want to optimize your life, the goal isn't to die rich, it's to live rich. All right. I've lived up until this moment at 31 years old. Since I started entrepreneurship, I've lived rich, not because of the money that I have in my bank account, it's because of the experiences that I've been able to give myself. Right. So you want to start enhancing your life, optimizing your life. And part of optimizing your life is becoming a better version of you as well. Right. Are you eating healthy? Are you going to the gym? Are you reading good books? Are you investing in your wellness? Are you doing the things that are required for you to live an optimal life? Right? These are super key things because the thing is, right, we go out chasing wealth, but are we becoming wealthy in our mindsets? Are we becoming wealthy in our health? Are we becoming healthy and everything else in all other areas in our lives? That's the key. Right? That's the key right there. I had to understand that. I had to understand, Nano, how can you optimize your life a lot better? That's why I always make sure I'm reading good books. Right now, I'm reading this book. I haven't been able to put it down. Unreasonable Hospitality. Such a great book. Right? I love this book. I'm literally on I started this book this week and I'm already on page 77. I love this book. I can't put it down. Like every chance I get to read it, I read it. I'm just reading it at all times. I'm reading an hour a day right now just so that I can finish this book so much faster because this book helps me optimize my life. I love it. This is part of me enhancing the quality of my life is reading a good book. I love this, right? Giving myself experiences, investing into my health, That's also important. Right? Everything that I do, I'm always looking for ways to optimize my life. How can I improve my health? How can I eat healthier? How can I use healthier products for my hair, for my body, for my skin? How can I eat healthier? What can I put into my body that can help me operate at the highest level? Like these are all little things that I'm looking to do because I want to make sure that I'm not just enhancing the quality of my life, but I'm also extending it. I'm extending my life. I want to live longer. Right? So these are the things that we also got to be thinking about, right? Die with zero. Think about that idea real quick, right? Because yes, money is great, but you know what I use money for? I use money as fuel for life experiences. Right? And remember, the goal of life is to spend that fuel intentionally before you run out of time. Right? If you have no money, you have no fuel. If you have no fuel, you have no vehicle to take you to where you want to go to have the experiences you have. So as much as money is important, you got to give yourself the experiences as well. But how do you get the money? By becoming a better version of you. By becoming a better version of you. Right? Jim Rohn says, set a goal to make $1 million, not because of the money, but because of the person you're going to have to become to earn $1 million. It's all about who you become. That's what I talk about on these trainings every single day. You have to grow because you grow. Guess what? Your income grows. Your income grows. The quality of your experiences grow. That's how it happened for me. When I had no money, when I was broke living at my parents' house, guess what? Because I wasn't focused on being a better version of myself, then guess what? I wasn't earning the money. Because I wasn't earning the money, then I didn't have money to invest into experiences. And because I wasn't investing into experiences, then guess what? Because I wasn't investing into experiences, my life wasn't fulfilled. I wasn't collecting any experiences. I was just going through the day-to-day, waking up, doing what I was supposed to do, hanging out with the same people in the same corners, in the same streets, in the same city, over and over and over and over and over again. And I remember this quote that a mentor of mine once told me. He said, Neno, if you live your life and you don't travel, it's like living your life on the same page of a book. And that touched me. I'm like, damn, you're right. I've been on the same page of a book for a long time. I don't travel. I don't experience life. Haven't seen anything. I haven't got a chance for my mind to expand. I haven't tried different cultures, different foods, different experiences. I got to optimize my life. You have to optimize your life. So powerful. So powerful, guys. But in order for you to optimize your life, you have to work on you. And I know that this is something that I say every single day, but I'm going to keep repeating it over and over and over and over again until every single person on this call is optimizing their life, optimizing becoming the better version of themselves, optimizing and prioritizing that real morning routine where you're working on yourself, you're doing the work, you're reading the books, you're actually working to become better, because that's what helps you get there, right? If you want your money to grow, you have to grow. If you're not happy with the money you're making, then it's because you're not prioritizing your growth enough. If you prioritize growth, money would be prioritized in your life. Your income is a reflection of your personal development. You want your income to grow, you must grow. If you grow, your income grows. If your income grows and you're not growing, then eventually your income will come back down and meet you to your level of personal development. That's how it works. This is how it works. So optimize your life, not just wealth. Work on you. All right? Work on you. And look, guys, start to create calendars for the things that you want to do. Right? What do I mean by that? Create a life calendar. I showed you guys my life calendar the other day of the things I want to do before I'm 100. Before I'm 40 years old. I made a list of 100 things I want to do before I'm 40 years old. You know why I'm doing that? Because I'm already preparing myself for when I have that money to create those experiences for myself. I have those things already. Look, let me show you. 100 things. Where is it? Here it is. Look at this. I showed you guys this in the past, but I'll show it to you guys here again. I have a bunch of things I want to do. Okay. But if I go to the experiences side, the travel, look at this. Visit over 100 countries, fill up my passport, visit Greece. I want to go to the Fiji Islands, St. Lucia, Singapore, Hawaii, Australia, Maldives, visit the African safari, get a villa in Lake Como, visit the national parks in the United States, visit the 7 wonders of the world, fly first class around the world, do a 7-day luxury cruise, visit Bali, visit Mauritius, become a monk for a quarter, learn Kung Fu, visit the south of France, spend the summer in Europe, do the hot air balloons in Turkey, stay in a cabin in Vail, Colorado, board the 7-day Ritz-Carlton cruise, stay at the Raffles Hotel. Like, these are all things that I have here. Look at all the hobbies. Look at all of this. These are all things. I started writing these things down. Now I have way over 100 things that I got to do. There's way over 100 things here. And you know what? Every day I'm adding more to this. Look, visit the top 5 golf courses in the world. Learn how to play golf. Learn how to play golf semi-pro. Learn how to paddle. Skydive over the Swiss Alps. Go bungee jumping. Zip line through the city of Dubai. Go to PNC Park, AT&T Park, Wrigley Park. These are all baseball stadiums. Go to the Little League World Series. Go to Omaha for the College World Series. Go to the Women's Softball World Series. Get really good at snowboarding. Learn how to dance salsa is up there, right? Like, these are all things, bro. Look at my career. Look at things for my career I wanna accomplish by 40. Earn over $50 million, $1 million Hall of Fame, become a best-selling author, top bilingual speaker in the world, speak on over 300 plus stages, host over 100 plus luxury wellness retreats, voice and vision, earning 7-8 figures, brand merch, everything, my book, 1 million followers on Instagram, top 25 podcasts, build Alpha Society to over 10K members, right? Have I been to the Astro Stadium? Yes, I have. Go to the Tony Robbins Fiji retreat, buy a beach villa in DR. Like, guys, I'm already working on this. Like, I'm already working on this. Like, I'm already preparing myself for when I'm earning the money to be able to give myself those experiences. I'm clear. I know what I want. And yeah, and they're all so doable. You understand? Like, this is what I love. I love living life fully, right? And there's so much I want to do in my life. I have a list. And those are all things I want to do by 40. Right? Those are all things I want to do by 40. Those things will be done, and then there'll be a new list that I'm going to do by 50, by 60. That's the reality of it, right? Before I had that list, look, I was able to give myself experiences because, look, if we go to point number 2 now in this training of Die with Zero, point number 2 is invest in experiences, not things. Point number 2 is invest in experiences, not things. Memories are the true currency of a life well lived. Never forget those words. Memories are the true currency of a life well lived. And that's the reality of it. Memories are the true currency of a life well lived. Right? I've made a lot of money, and I've been very grateful for it. Right? And a lot of people around me, when they made money, they did different things with their money. Right? They went to the clubs, they blew it at clubs. They bought a lot of designer clothes. They spend it on girls, strip clubs, the whole 9, cars, clothes, jewelry, all of it. And I get it. They wanted those things and they accomplished it. They did it. Everybody deserves to do what they want with their money at the end of the day. Right? But those same $20,000 that somebody spent on a watch, I had the same 20,000, but I would take that 20,000 and go travel the world, stay at nice hotels, fly to nice countries, give myself the excursions. I've done things you guys can never imagine because I loved experiences. That's my thing. I love experience. And I also like the nice things. So I'm not talking down on the watches. I love the watches. Trust me, I'm gonna get watches. I'm gonna get it all too. Don't get me wrong. But I'm a big experience guy. So before all of this, I wanted to skydive in Dubai. I completed that. I wanted to be in cages, and I wanted to spend time with tigers and cages in Thailand. I did that. Right? I wanted to visit Phuket, Thailand. I went. I visited. I dove into the blue oceans of Phuket, Thailand. Beautiful place. I ziplined through the jungles of Costa Rica and Mexico. I always wanted a zipline, never did ziplining. I went to Paris. I went to the top of the Eiffel Tower in Paris. I did that. I've been to the top of the Eiffel Tower. I know what it looks like. You know, like I know what these things are like, right? What else? I've swam with whale sharks, not sharks, but whale sharks. Like I've been in the water, in an ocean, swimming with whale sharks, touching them. And if you guys know what whale sharks are, they're big. They're like, think of a whale, but they're also a shark, but they actually don't bite. For some reason, they don't have teeth, if I'm not mistaken, but they're great. And I swam with whale sharks. I swam with dolphins. That's also always something I wanted to do. Like all these experiences, I've always wanted to have them, right? I wanted to eat a paella in Spain. I had that experience, right? I wanted to do those things. Like everything I ever wanted to do up until like I was 30, I for the most part, I'd accomplished a lot of it. Right? I visited over 40 states in the United States. All right. I've done so many amazing things, but why? Because I wanted to make sure that I filled my life up with experiences. You don't know how good it feels. Look at my refrigerator. Some of you guys can see it here on YouTube. I'll show it to you guys. But look, I try to collect these. I don't do it as much as I would like to. But look, Detroit, I got Slovenia here. I got a lucky $2. I get like, I do my best to collect. Here I got Italy. I got a Euro. I got Germany, Belgrade. I got Croatia, Germany, Barcelona, Arizona. So I do my best to collect. I have a lot of different things all around my house, all around my apartment that basically represent the places I've been to. And if you guys see my mom's refrigerator, oh my God, my mom's refrigerator, I collect these things. I collect the magnets all the time from my mom. My mom's refrigerator is full of magnets because back then I used to do it a lot more. Now, since I have a refrigerator here, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna start doing it at my refrigerator too as well. Might as well start collecting more of these. But my mom's refrigerator doesn't even fit anymore. Like I filled it all the way up with all the countries I've been to, right? But why? Because I'm investing into experiences. All right. I love experiences. And even before I gave myself those experiences, I would give myself experiences in the places that I was at. Right? I remember I became a tourist in my own city. Have you ever tried becoming a tourist in your own city? Look up the most fun things to do in your city and go do them all. I did that in New York. I said, I live in one of the most beautiful cities, one of the most visited cities in the world, and I had not done the things that tourists do when they come to New York. And guess what? One day I said, you know what? I'm going to go give myself all these experiences. I went to the Empire State Building. I had never been to the Empire State Building. Over 20 years living in New York, I had never been to the Empire State Building. I had never been to the Statue of Liberty. I went to the Statue of Liberty. I had never been to the One World Trade Center. I went to the One World Trade Center. I went into the Plaza Hotel, the famous hotel that, everybody likes to go to because they filmed Home Alone at this hotel. I went there. I had a meal. Like I started to do all these different experiences. Central Park, I had been many times, but I started to do all these different experiences. I had never walked the Brooklyn Bridge. I went and walked the Brooklyn Bridge. I started to give myself the experiences, the things to live for, right? Like this is so important. So important because we live life and every day we're working, we're worried about bills, we're worried about what's happening in life that we forget to give ourselves the experience. You know what I used to do? I used to save $25 every week. And at the end of the month, I would give myself a luxury dinner experience. Because, if you get paid and half of your check, you're not going to want to spend it on a dinner, right? So you know what I would do? I would take, if I got paid, let's say $250 for the week or $500 for the week, I would take 25, put it to the side every week. 25 to the side, 25 to the side, 25 to the side, 25. Boom. At the end of the month, because I was working so hard, what I would do, I would go have a solo dinner at one of the nicest restaurants in New York. Solo dinner by myself. Because obviously I don't want to pay for nobody else because then it would be too expensive at the time. But I would go give myself a nice experience. I would look at best restaurants in New York, best restaurants with the best views, rooftops, etc. And now anywhere you could get a nice $100 dinner. I knew with $100 I was always good. You could get yourself a steak dinner for $100 with sides and appetizers and everything, right? So I'm like, yo, you know what? I'm going to start doing this more. And I would go and eat at the nicest restaurants in New York. But you know what it was for? To give myself the experience. I wanted to start to prepare my mind, my life, everything for where I was going to be. This is the experiences that I'm going to give myself in the future. These are the experiences I'm going to be able to give to my mom, to my dad, to my family, to my team, to my friends. But I had to start to live for it, right? You got to give yourself the experiences, right? The other day, I know I spoke to you guys about one of my leaders. He was going through a tough time. He was going through a very, very dark time. And I said, yo, meet me on this day, pick me up, and I'm going to take you and we're going to go dream build the whole day. Let's go dream build. Let's forget about it. I said, yo, bring $100. We're going to spend about $100. We're going to spend about $100, right? Because he was stressing out, every day, life, work, relationships, family, finances. His life was in shambles. Just such a, he was just in a dark place in life. And I said, yo, on this Saturday, we're going to go dream building. You're going to spend the day with me, and I'm going to take you everywhere. And what did we do? I took him to a bunch of different places. We drove. I took him to where I want to live in the future, Sunny Isles. We went by the beach. We went to the beach. Then on the beach, I walked him through a 10-minute visualization on the beach. I was like, yo, look, for these next 10 minutes, I just want you to focus on the ocean. Focus on the sounds of the waves, and let the sounds of the waves wash away all the negativity, all the doubts, all the fears, all the insecurity, everything. Just let it wash it all away for 10 minutes, bro. Just let the sounds of the waves wash it all away. It's 11:11. That's how true everything I'm saying is. And I just said, yo, for 10 minutes, let the waves wash you away. For the first half, let it wash you away. And then for the second half, let the waves fill you up with abundance, love, happiness, gratitude for everything that you do have. We did that beautiful 10-minute meditation, right? After that, we walked on the beach of Billionaires Row. There's a beach. There's like a what I like to call it, almost like a area where it's called the Billionaires Row. This is where all billionaires buy their real estate, on the beach in Miami. And this is where the nicest buildings are. So we ended up going, and I drove him into one of those experiences. And there's this restaurant. It's called Avra. It's this restaurant that is in the middle of these two beautiful buildings called Aqualina, right? Beautiful. And I said, yo, look, we're not gonna go eat there because it'll cost us a lot of money to eat there. And I know you're not in the financial situation to do that, but we're gonna go sit at the bar. We're gonna have a drink, right? One drink was $30, right? Just to give you guys an idea of this place. And then we get there, and when you arrive at Avra, right? Avra is next level, right? Some of you guys, obviously, if you're not from Miami and you've never been here, it's a beautiful, beautiful location. Like, look, let me show you guys here on on YouTube, right? Look at this place, right? This is what it looks like, right? So when you pull up, it's like this, you pull up, it's a beautiful, you feel like you're in Europe, right? The fountains, there's Rolls Royces parked everywhere. So we pull up here and we're at this restaurant, we're here at the Aqualina Resort. This is the restaurant. Right. This is what this place looks like. It's absolutely beautiful. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous here. This is the #1 beach resort I think, if I'm not mistaken, in the US. The #1 beach resort is called Aqualina. Right. And this is where it is. And it's absolutely stunning. Stunning. Right. Avra. We sat at the bar. Avra Bar. Sunny Isles. And we were just sitting there listening to we were sitting right here. I remember, boom, we sat in these two seats right here, in the corner seats. We sat right there. We had an espresso martini, I remember. And we gave ourselves the experience, like, to be there, talk to ourselves. Oh, we can't see. Sheesh, the screen is black. Oh, man. Sorry, I thought you guys were seeing it. My bad. Let me show it to you guys now. My bad. I want you guys to see it. No, we can't see. My bad. Here it is. Can you guys see it now? Can you see it now? Let me know so I can show it to you guys. I don't know why YouTube does that, because it said it was sharing, right? So look, just so I could go back here, right? So when you get to this place is gorgeous, right? So this is a beautiful location. But look, just so you guys can see it again, Avra entrance, Sunny Isles, right? When you arrive at this place, it's like next level, right? Like, you arrive at this place, look at this place, right? You arrive, the fountains, it feels like you're in the middle of Europe. Like, for a sec, this area is just like you're in the middle of Europe. You know, you have this beautiful location, the fountains, there's Rolls Royces, Bentleys parked outside. You know, it's just a beautiful, beautiful location. Like, this is I want to live at. Like, getting a location here would be absolutely a dream for me. Like, living at this place is gorgeous. So me and him, we're sitting here, and you know, we're having a drink at, literally having a drink at the bar right here, sitting down, having a drink at the bar, just giving ourselves the experience, right? Yes, was the espresso martinis expensive, etc. Yes, it was, but it was more about giving him the experience, right? It was more like, okay, bro, look, this is how you live. If you're willing to invest into yourself, work on yourself, it's a vibe. It's one of those things. So I wanted to give him the experience. Yo, look, this is what it's like to live rich. This is what the rich people are doing. Look, this is where they eat. This is how it feels. Look at how they pull up. Look at how they treated us. Right? Start thinking about this. Give yourself experiences. Let's go eat at the nicest location. Then I took him to this location. Right? Then I took him here, and I'm like, look, bro, this is where I want to live. Right? I want to live at this place, and right now they're currently building it. They're currently building it in Sunny Isles, and they have like this whole they're building this spot right here. Right? This is going to be built in the next probably like 3 years, but it's called the Bentley Residences in Miami. Right? This is the whole thing right here. And they have an office. They actually have an office where they show you everything. And bro, it was late night. We weren't supposed to do this, but we snuck into the office. Look at this place. Like, I can't wait to live here. Like, this is my gym, you know, like this is going to be my gym right here. Right? You know, I lived on this beach, you know, so I know what it's like to live here, and the car elevator and the buildings and all of that, the lobbies. So we went to this place, and as a matter of fact, let me see, Bentley Residences office, right? There's an office in Sunny Isles where you could basically see what a sample apartment looks like, right? And we were actually in there. We snuck in. They had like an outside portion of it that you can actually look at, and I was there. And we were looking at it, and we were sitting down, and he was recording videos of it, and I was just walking around it. And bro, it was absolutely incredible. But what was I doing? We were creating the experience of life, of what it's gonna be like to live in a $5 million condo. What it's gonna be like to pull up and see Rolls Royces everywhere we go. What it's gonna be like to eat at the nicest restaurants in the world, right? It was absolutely incredible, right? And I gave him that experience. I wanted the experience myself, but I gave him the experience to show him that sometimes life is more than just our problems and our issues and our challenges. And sometimes you just need to leave your house and go see what's possible. We had some good food. We had some good drinks. We had a great meditation sessions, right? We had a great drive up and down Sunny Isles. Like, it was a beautiful experience. But think about it, guys. When was the last time you gave yourself that experience? You ever think about those things? When was the last time I gave myself that experience? When was the last time I went and did some dream building? Right? And don't think that you need money to do that, because me and Mike, we didn't spend that much money on that trip. All we did, we bought some espresso martinis, and we had some food on the go. We spent less than $60 that day. But you know what? We were happier than we could ever be. Why? Because we were giving ourselves the experience, fam. That's what it's all about. Give yourself the experience. For example, another thing, I don't know if my brother Zion or Alex are on this call, but when we were in California, it was my brother Zion's first time in California. It was his first time. So I'm like, yo, bro, I know it's your first time in California. Let's go dream building. Bro, we went all over Beverly Hills. I took him to Santa Monica so he can watch the sunset. Like, we did all of these things. We were dream building. Look, I actually got the pictures of it. Let me see if you guys can see this. I love doing this. This is so important. Look at us. This is us here. Look at us here driving around. Alex is driving us around.
That's old school.
Like, we're looking at houses.
But those cribs is probably nice as hell, bro.
Look at that driveway all the way down there too. That's what I love. Like, having a driveway is all the way down.
Look at this one right here to the right.
Dream building. Look at this. Just dream building. Riding down the California streets. Taking it all in. Yo, you don't need money. You don't need money to give yourself experience. Sometimes you just got to go out there and see what your dream life is going to be like. Look at this. Taking pictures of the houses, right? Taking pictures of all of it. Look at these $1 million houses. Look at, we're all the way up in the hills.
You see it?
Multi-million-dollar houses. These are the entrances to them because they're on the hill. So on the other side is the hills, and you're able to see all the other houses. But what was I doing there? I was creating the experience. Look at us here. We went to Santa Monica, right? Go see the experiences. Such a beautiful place, right? But what was I doing? Experiences. Creating experiences, fam. That's what we need to do more of. Stop being at home, just stuck, going through the motions. Go visit, go take a flight, go make the investment, go do what's going to make you happy. That's why I'm so grateful for everybody that's coming to the retreat with me. Everybody that's coming to the retreat with me, they're going to have a blast. You know how dope that's going to be for everyone coming to the retreat with me? Look at where we're going to be. Look at this place. Look at how cool. You know how cool it's going to be for me to be with my Mornings with Nano family at this location. Look at us. We're going to be chilling right here, staying at tree houses. Like, this is all super cool. Look at how cold this place is, right? Like, this place is unbelievable. We're going to be doing cold plunges, staying in tree houses, waking up to the ocean. Like, it's about to be next level, fam. Like, this is an experience for all of us. Horseback riding, watching the sunset, having margaritas by the infinity pool, right? Cold plunges, chilling right here, taking it all easy, eating good food. Everybody that's coming to the retreat, not only are they going to have, coaching and work, everything, but phenomenal experience. What are we doing? It's gotta give yourself experience, because that's what life is filled with. Everybody that comes to that retreat with me in November, they'll never forget the first time they went to El Salvador. That is something that they'll be talking with their kids, 60, 70 years old. Yo, I went to El Salvador. We stayed in beach tree houses. I went over there for my boy Nano's first retreat. It was absolutely life-changing. I met great people. We had fun. We enjoyed life. We did waterfall hikes. We did horseback riding. I learned how to surf there. We recorded a podcast. You think he's going to be talking about, oh, well, I had to spend a couple $1,000s to go. You think that's going to matter? It's not going to matter. It's not going to matter. It's not going to matter. Michael Howard, the first person, he's on this call right here. He was the first person to book his trip. You think he's going to be talking to his kids about, I had to spend a couple $1,000s to go. He's going to be talking about the experience that he had. Yo, I had this experience. I learned this. I met this person. This happened. That happened. I tried this food for the first time. Life changing. But what is that going to be? An experience. Guys, give yourself experiences. I know that this is not your typical 5 keys to success kind of call. I'm giving you guys real life stuff right now. Things that are going to make you truly happy. This is the truth. Give yourself the experiences. And like I said, you could give yourself experiences in your own city where you live. Find out what's the most popular things to do in your cities and do them. And if you want to visit new places to try new things, make the investments. Start saving money. Make that a part of your budget. Hey, every week when I get paid, I'm going to take $20, $50. I'm going to put this to the side so that every year I can give myself an experience. Every 6 months, I can give myself an experience for me, for my girlfriend, etc. Right? A lot of the guys that are coming to the retreat, they're bringing their girlfriends with them. Guess what? They're giving them an experience. This is what you want to get in the habit of doing. Give yourself experience, guys. That's what the whole idea of dying with zero is. Die with zero. Do everything that you want to do. Go visit every country. Go try all the foods. Go drink the best wines. Right? Those are the things that are going to stick with you forever. And if you've been wondering, yo, Nano, I've been wanting to give myself an experience, go do it. And remember, you don't need money to do it. Sometimes you don't need money to give yourself an experience. You don't. Now, are experiences with money better? Yes, but you're gonna have to save up for those. Yeah, that's I know, Ben. That's the book. It's right here. Look. It's the reality of it. Right? Wait till you guys see the next location I'm gonna do for the retreats and everything. And you know why I'm doing that? You know why I'm doing retreats? For the same reason that I'm teaching you guys right now, is because I want to create experiences for business owners, investors, and just people in general. Because I wanted people to understand the importance of them. So that's point number 2, right? Is invest in experiences, not things. Invest in experiences, not things. And remember, start putting money aside every week, every month to give yourself those experiences. Sunrise and sunsets are some of my favorites. Same, Danielle. I love a good sunset and a good sunrise. One of my favorite things in the world. It's just such a majestic moment in that specific moment right there. I just love sunrises. I love sunsets. They're so gorgeous, so beautiful. Right? Start giving yourself those experiences. Guys, for the most part, a lot of us on this call, we're in the ages between 22 to 30, between 22 to 42. Remember, yesterday we checked, and when I asked you guys, what were your ages? Give yourself the experiences. I promise you, it'll change your life. So that's point number 2, invest in experience, not things. Number 3, you got to balance your earning, your savings, and living across all life stages. All right. Balance earning, saving, and living right across all life stages. Timing is everything. Spend at the right time, not just any time. Like I said, budget your money. All right, perfect. I make this amount of money every month. How much of this money goes towards my bills? How much of this money goes towards my expenses? How much of this money goes towards my kids, et cetera, et cetera? Find out how much you have left, and then figure out other ways and other places where you can save money. I can save money here. I can save money there. I can get rid of this subscription. I can stop buying my morning coffee here. This will help me save an extra $50, $100 a week. Think about that, guys. If you're able to save $100 a week, that's $400 a month. $400 a month every 6 months, that's $2,400. You could take a vacation with $2,400. Especially, and if you have somebody else, if your partner's doing the exact same thing, it's life-changing. And that one experience could be a life changer for you. Because you know what? It's giving you perspective. That's what those trips did for me. They gave me perspective. Wow, I want to do this more. I want to travel more. I want to visit more countries. Right? I'm at 26 countries right now as a collective. El Salvador, I'm actually going to go next Thursday. I'm going next Thursday to El Salvador, because I got to go see everything before the retreat in November. El Salvador is going to be my 27th country. At some point next year, I'll reach 30 countries. You know how cool that's going to be to tell myself, yo, Nano, you visited 30 countries. That's so cool. Right? That is so cool to say, yo, I visited 30 countries. Never would I thought that a kid from Washington Heights would have 30 countries under his belt. Never. Never in my wildest dreams. 30 countries and over 40 cities in the US. Never would have thought that. But guess what? I gave myself the experiences. As a matter of fact, I'm not the best person to give you guys this advice when it comes to balance earning, saving, because I would go broke to take trips. I don't recommend that. I do not recommend that. I would put trips on credit cards. And I'm sure some of you guys have done it as well, right? But I don't recommend that because then you go into debt and then you have to spend the rest of your paying off the trips that, So now I wait till I can afford to go to the trips I'm not doing what Young Nano did, right? Young Nano would put the trip on a credit card and be like, we pay it off later type of thing, right? And then next thing I wouldn't pay it off, and then it's, messes up your credit and etc. So yeah, you already know we went broke buying plates. Z knows. Z was there. You was there, Z. You know what we was doing, giving ourselves those experiences. Maple and Nash, man, those days, man. Can't I never forget those days. But that was what it was about, though, right? Those are, like, for example, right? My brother Z, he's on this call, right? We went to this restaurant. It's called Maple and Nash, and we go to this high-end restaurant for brunch. Right. I'll never forget the experience, though. Right. I can never forget that experience that me, Z, and my brother had. And next thing you know, we end up finding out that it's $130 per person. So basically what they do is they do like kind of like pre-course meals, like 4-course meals. And then it was a 4-course meal for like $100. And if you add $30 to it for 130, it was the full package that came with drinks included. And they had, I think they had like margaritas or palomas included in the thing. So not only are we eating, but we're also drinking. And next thing you know, we leave that spot, and we had a little bit more than we were supposed to drink, but we were just having the time of our lives. We had good food. It was just. And then look, my brother at the time, he was only making like $150 a week. He had spent his weekly paycheck on that, but the time that we had was one we could never forget. It was just such a good experience. Now, were we stupid? Yes, right, because he spent his weekly check on that meal, right, on one meal. That's it. Now he's broke. He don't get paid till next week, right? So was it stupid? Yes. Was it fun? Absolutely. So what I would recommend, me being smarter now, we have to budget, plan these things, plan your trips, plan your experiences, give yourself the time, because we need this. This what I'm talking about today is just as important as any book recommendation, as any audio, any podcast, any event, anything. This is just as important as any of that, guys. I'm telling you. Because what is all this work that we're doing if we can't experience, if we can't live life, if we can't have these experiences for our families, our parents? You want me to tell you a funny experience? Let me tell you about a funny experience. So for Mother's Day a couple years ago, I take my mom out to this beautiful restaurant at the Edge, right? I take my mom here. Let me show you guys. I'd rather show you guys so that you guys can understand it. Edge. Take my mom to this place. It's called Peak. Beautiful restaurant, by the way. Unbelievable, gorgeous restaurant. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna take my mom out. I got money now, so I'm gonna take my mom out to this beautiful restaurant. It's called Peak, but it's in the famous building in New York called the Edge, right? So I take my mom here. It's a gorgeous restaurant, by the way. Like this is actually the view me and my mom had while we were sitting down, like overlooking all of New York. Absolutely gorgeous restaurant. I take her here, and this is an expensive dinner. I'm already ready for it, right? And I'm so happy that I could do this for my mom. Like, we're ordering the steaks. After that, we go here. Let me see if they have a picture of it. Maybe here you can see it. But then I took my mom, and then we walked the Edge, because that's why it's called the Edge. We walked here. We sat on the stairs. The whole night. Beautiful, beautiful experience. And that day, me and my mom, I ordered the filet mignon. She orders a filet, and at these expensive restaurants, it's small portions, right? It's like, small little filet mignon with a couple little potatoes, couple little vegetables, and, they'll charge you $80 for that, right? So that's what it was. So, $80 for one or two, that's $160. Next thing you know, I think we got like 2 appetizers. We got like 2 beers. My mom wanted to have a beer. Next thing you know, the dinner is like $350. right? And my mom, my mom comes from very humble beginnings where $300 could pay for $300 could pay for 2 weeks of food at home, and making it even better. So we leave the restaurant, we get home, and the whole time I'm like, I just gave my mom the experience of a lifetime. And my mom being the funny person that she is, she's like, you guys just love to spend your money. She's like, that food sucked. That food sucked. We spend all that money. She's like, if you would have gave me those $300, I would have made us food here for the rest of the week, and we would have ate good. We would have drank good. We would have had all the. She starts flaming me about how she's still hungry. She ate all that food and she's still hungry. And if you have a Dominican mom, and you would understand a Hispanic mom, she's over here she's like, I ate all that food and I'm still hungry. And you spend all that money just for what? For the view, just for us to see that shit. Like, you would have gave me that money, I would have used that money and we would have ate this, we would have ate that, we would have had all the beers, we would have chilled right here at home, and we didn't have to go spend all that money and this and this and that. And she was grateful, obviously. She was like, I thank you for the experience. It was very beautiful. But she was like, man, these freaking restaurants, they make you spend all this money and you leave hungry. And they didn't have her favorite beer. She loves Stella's, right? So she didn't have her Stella's and everything like that. But it was a funny experience. And still to this day, it's funny that she talks about it all the time. So even though she didn't like the food that much, the filet mignon was a little bit, didn't have that much good flavor. But overall was the experience that I gave my mom. But she loved it though. She loved the experience and she loves to be able to tell the story. The most important part, even though the food wasn't up to the standard, she loves to tell the experience. My son for Mother's Day, he took me to this beautiful restaurant. And we spent over $300, but we left hungry. And the food was small, the steak was small, the potatoes, they barely gave us anything. They didn't have my favorite beer. Like, I can't believe they didn't have Stella's. And, but guess what? It was a great experience. And she talks about it all the time. I don't know if it's the same with all mothers, but my mom is the type of person that she'll call everybody and tell everybody the same story over and over and over. Yo, you won't believe it. My son took me to this nice restaurant and this and this and this and that. And she'll tell everybody that she calls, everybody that comes to my house. They all know. Everybody, by the time I get home, everybody knows that I took my mom to a nice restaurant. The food sucked. I paid $350. It wasn't worth it. Like, I don't know. I don't know if it's the same with you guys, but they love to do those things, right? We left hungry, etc., right? But even though, like, it was a beautiful experience to be able to, just the fact that I was able to sit down and pay for a dinner for me and my mom for $350, I felt like I made it. Like, that was a phenomenal experience for me. That was a real beautiful experience for me. For me to be able to sit down, pay $350 for my mom, be like, Mom, I got it. It's on me. They're charging my card. I'm leaving the tip. You don't got to worry about it. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful experience. So, but I saved up for those things. I prepared myself for those things. You understand? So, part of living your life is also saving, earning, balancing, putting yourself in positions where you can give yourself those experiences. You can give your family those experiences. And that's number 3, which is balance, earning, and saving. And then the last point, so we could finish it off, I know we've gone long here, is leave a legacy for impact. Leave a legacy for impact. What does that mean? Neno, the greatest gift is what you give while you're alive. That's why I'm the way I am. The greatest gift you can give is the one while you're alive. My mom tells me that all the time. My mom told me that the other time. She says, Neno, what are you going to do for me once I'm dead? Are you going to buy me a house once I'm not going to be able to enjoy it? Or you want to give me all these hugs, all these kisses once I'm dead? No. Give that all to me now. Tell me how much you love me now. Hug me now. Take me to the experiences now. Let's travel now that I'm alive, now that I can feel it, now that I can do these things. Let's do it now. Those words always touched me. Those words always touched me when my mom would tell me those things. Such key words that she would say that would just because we talk about the impact that we're going to leave for future things and our families and all of that, but the greatest gift is what you can give while you're alive, while your family's alive. It's the truth. One of the reasons I grind so hard is because of that. A lot of people always ask me, what keeps you going? Well, my parents are in their late 60s, early 70s for my dad. They have less time in that sand jar than they do. So I have to work my butt off so I can give them the experiences that I want to give them before their time comes. That's one of my goals of life, is to give my family those experiences. Like, that's why I work so hard. That's why I never stop. That's why you will always see me working the business, doing what's required, regardless of anything, because I have a promise to fulfill my parents with. And it breaks my heart that my family, my mom, my dad, they dedicated their lives to me and my little brother, to me and my little brother, and they haven't been able to give themselves those experiences. They've only been to the Dominican Republic in New York. Like, that breaks my heart that they dedicated so much time, so much energy, so much money into making sure that we were good, to the point where they don't even have a house in the Dominican Republic because all the money that they ever made here in the US, they invested it into their kids. They didn't invest it into a house in the Dominican Republic. So it's up to me now to make a return on that investment for them. Give them the house, give them the experiences, do the things that we said we would do. Because I got to do it while we're alive. We can't do nothing while they're dead. I got to do it now. So whenever people see me and I'm on the move and I'm on the go and I don't take a day off and I'm grinding and I'm doing what's required, it's because of that, because I have that priority to give my family the experiences that I want to give them. I don't want them to live their whole life stuck in an apartment, working job their whole life. That's not what I want. Right? Like, that breaks my heart. I call my mom, and even though she's retired, she's like, Papi, I just do the same thing every day. I'm just home. I walk here and there. Like, it breaks my heart. I tell her, yo, come spend some time with me in Miami. She comes, she goes to Tampa, but I want to give my mom more of an experience. That breaks me inside. I don't know if it's the same with you guys. Right? My father, he's also retired, but he doesn't want to be home all day. So he gets up every day and still goes and picks up a couple customers as a taxi driver. But it's like, we need money. We need more money. We got to do more. We got to experience more. So that's why I work so hard, because I want to make sure that I create that experience for my family, for my mom, for my dad, for my little brother, for my goddaughter, for my godson. I want to create those experiences for the people closest to me. That's top priority for me, especially in these next 3 to 5 years, because they deserve it. That's a priority to me because they deserve it. I'm their investment. They invested into me. And you know what? They would be fine if we didn't do those things, but I won't be fine. They would be fine, but I wouldn't be fine. So I want to give them that experiences. I was talking with my mom yesterday. I'm like, yo, mom, I'm going to take you to Barcelona. I want to take you to Barcelona. You'll love Barcelona. Everybody speaks Spanish over there. They got good sangria. They have great sangria. They got good food. It's good culture. I want to take you to Barcelona, Madrid. I'm going to take you all over Spain. I know you'll love Spain. We were talking about going to Costa Rica. We were talking about going to Peru, we started talking about these things. I'm like, yo, we're going to start doing these things. Get ready. Get ready. We're going to start looking I'm going to start looking. I'm at some point in the next 6 months, I got to go to DR. I got to start looking for the villa. I want to buy them. What is going to cost me? What's the deposit going to be? What's the monthly statement going to be? I want to start doing these things. That's it. It's time. But you know what? We got to work for these things. I got to work for these things. You got to grind for these things. You got to get up early. You got to stay up late. You got to save money. You got to give yourself those experiences. I'm telling you guys, this is what it's all about. Everything goes hand in hand. All the things that we talk about, reading the Bible, getting closer to God, being disciplined, doing your morning routine, reading the books, all those things. You do that long enough, eventually you'll have the money to give yourself and your family the experiences that'll eventually allow you to fulfill the life that you want to live. It's important that you do that for you. And it's important that you do it for the people that you love. Put a 2 in the chat box if you have family, friends, kids that you want to give them those experiences. Put a 2 in the chat for me. I have many. I can't wait to have kids too. It's not something I plan on doing anytime soon, but I want to have kids before I'm 35. Before I'm 35, I want to have kids. So I still got like 3 to 4 years to do it. But in the meantime, I want to be able to give myself those experiences. Of course. I want to give myself, my family, those experiences, my kids, my future kids, my goddaughters, my godson, my girlfriend, and my girl. We're gonna go to El Salvador next week. That's gonna be a beautiful experience for me and her. All right, like these are all the things that we get a chance to do. But that's life, and you gotta put yourself in the position to do that. You have to. You gotta put yourself in that position because you'll never know. Life is short. Tomorrow's not promised. Start living life, guys. And that's why that book, just even the foundation of it is built around it. And as I did my research on it, I'm like, yo, this book is a representation of everything that I live for. Die with zero. I want to die with zero regrets. I want to die with zero regrets. I want people to look and be like, yo, Neno lived it all the way up. He did everything he said he was going to do. He visited every country. He did everything. He did everything for his kids, for his family, for his wife, all of it. I want a wrestling team. You could do it, bro. You could do it. You could be the owner of a wrestling team, right? You could be somebody that sponsors UFC fights. Like, these are the things that can happen for us. But you got to start giving yourself those experiences. I'm only 31. I've given myself so many experiences. So many experiences in just 5 years. It's been for the last 5 years that I gave myself those experiences. Since 2020 is when I started giving myself, 2019, I started giving myself experiences. I put my first trip to Dubai on a credit card. I pay it off later. Don't recommend it. Like I said again, I don't recommend it, but I gave myself the experience. I wanted it. I wanted to visit Dubai. I wanted to know what it was like. I wanted to know what it was like to skydive. I did it. That's what life is all about, guys. I challenge everybody here on this call today to give yourself an experience in the next 2 to 4 weeks. And remember, it doesn't have to be money experience. It could be a simple experience. Take yourself out to a solo dinner. Go to the nicest rooftop in your city. Have a drink. Overlook the city. Set some goals. Go dream build in the richest neighborhood in your area. Go to the nicest beaches. Plan a trip for the end of the year or for next year. Make a decision. I'm going to be at the next Mornings with Nano retreat. Because my retreats are going to be next level. Every retreat I do is going to be at a next level location with the most next level experiences that you could ever imagine. So trust me, my retreats are going to be worth every dollar and more. So Nano, you know what? I'll be at the next one. Right? And I'm going to announce it soon. So get ready because the deposit is going to be for you to lock it in. And then you're going to have a couple months to pay it off. So it can make it easy for you. That way you don't got to pay everything off in one shot. That way you could be like, you know what? I'll put a deposit, pay it off. And that's it. Easy. That's how I did it with this one. Make sure you guys give yourself the experiences. Trust me. Your life will be so much better your life will be so much more fulfilled if you fill them up with experiences. All right, guys. So with that being said, that is my training for today. Way longer than usual. Did not expect it, but I just wanted to talk about these things. I wanted to do something different than just give you guys the 4 keys to success, right? Talk to you guys about like life and the importance behind them, because they're so key. They're so key. So with that being said, if you guys got value from today's training, put a 444 in the chat. If you guys got value from that, appreciate you guys. Thank you. My sister Tia's here. I didn't even know Tia was here. Tia's an experienced type of girl. I love my sister Tia. Me and Tia have collected a couple experiences over the years. But that's what it's all about. It's about the experiences. It's literally all about the experiences. I got so many more. We have so many more with my sister Tia. Tia, you know about them Tulum days? Me and my sister Tia, we had some good times in Tulum, man. Good times. That's what it's all about, though. You know, I'll never forget that night in Colorado. Me, you, Tasha, Jess, Colorado nights. Nights we'll never forget. Experiences. You know, like that's what it's all about, guys. I'm telling you. That's what it's all about. Just give yourself experiences. Money, all that other stuff is great, but I'm telling you, it's all about the experiences and the people that you have and the people that you share those experiences with that you'll always forget. I mean, you'll never forget. You'll never forget them. They'll last a lifetime. Me and Tia will talk about those experiences in Tulum, Colorado, forever. Yo, sis, you remember those Colorado nights? Man, it'll always be good times, laugh. And it was because of the experience, but also the people that you shared those experiences with. It's life-changing, the ATVs, everything. Like, that's what it's all about, fam. So I wanted to share that with you guys. It's a Friday. Go give yourself an experience today. It's Friday. For a lot of us, it's payday. Don't go waste your whole check, but go give yourself an experience today. Go have yourself a nice appetizer at the nicest restaurant in your city. Just cause. Go have a nice appetizer, some water with some lemon. Go give yourself the experience. Go sit by the beach. Go to a nice rooftop. Go kayaking. Go do something today that's gonna fulfill your life, make you happy. Go watch your favorite movie. Go do something that's gonna fulfill your heart. Stop being stuck at home, caught up with the problems, the issues, the finances, the kids, the girlfriends, the boyfriends. Go do something that's gonna make you happy, that's gonna fulfill your life. Sometimes that's all we need to get back on track. Sometimes that's all we need to get back on track. You know, there's the Kevin Trudeau, he says in his things, he says there was a time that his business was falling apart. He took a Garden of the Gods is fire. He took a vacation, and they were asking him, yo, how could you take a vacation when the world is falling apart around you? He says, yo, because if I take this vacation, I don't have to think about it that much. This vacation is going to free my mind, and I'll come back and I'll deal with the problem later. But let me take a vacation. Maybe I could think about how I'm going to solve this problem. Even the most successful people in the world, they take vacations. They give themselves experiences when they're dealing with the most things in life. We all go through stuff. Trust me, it'll help you out so much. All right, guys. So I love y'all. I appreciate you guys. Have a beautiful rest of the weekend. Remember, don't let your weekend be your weekend. Let me do a quick prayer, and then we're out of here. Just some gratitude. I'll practice some gratitude today, and we'll end it right there. Father God, I just want to say thank you so much on behalf of the whole entire community, that we just want you to know that we're just so grateful. We had a full week of beautiful trainings. Today was a phenomenal, just not even a training. Today was just more of a conversation of letting people know to give themselves those experiences. And we're just so grateful for the community that you've built, the family that we have here. We're grateful for our health. We're grateful for the wisdom. We're grateful for the guidance. We're grateful for just everything that you're doing for us, God, the way that you're fixing us, the way that you're forgiving us, the way that you're allowing us to become better versions of ourselves and healing us of the things that are holding us back, and just the way that you're clearing the path for us. We just want you to know, God, that we are just so grateful for all the work that you're doing that we recognize, but also we want to thank you for all the work that you do behind the scenes that we never get a chance to see, and for everything that's coming in the future for us. Today, we don't want to ask for anything. Today, we just want to say thank you for it all, God. Thank you for being our leader. Thank you for being our Father. Thank you for being our Lord and Savior. Thank you for it all. Everything that we do is for your praise and for your glory. We love you and we appreciate you. And in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. 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 God bless you all. Have a beautiful rest of your weekends. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to a great weekend. And let's keep growing. Let's keep elevating. Let's keep doing what's required. And my challenge to everybody here, go give yourself an experience this weekend. Don't just sit at home and chill this weekend and watch Netflix. Go give yourself an experience. Go drive around the rich neighborhoods. Go to the Mercedes-Benz dealership. Go sit in your dream car. Go eat at a nice restaurant. Go have a drink tonight at a nice, beautiful rooftop. Get dressed. Get nice. Nobody has to know what your situation is. Nobody has to know that you're down to your last and that you're buying this drink. Just go give yourself an experience and act like you're rich and you're wealthy and abundant already and that everything works in your favor. Trust me, you'll thank me on Monday when you come back and you'll be like, damn, Nano, thank you. I needed that. I was going to watch The Forge on Netflix. That's a good movie, though. That's a good movie. That's a good movie. You can watch it after you give yourself the experience, right? Go walk on Sunset Cliffs, Eunice. Go give yourself a nice walk down the strip. I think it'll be amazing. But I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your day. God bless you. Thank you. See you guys Monday. Thank you, fam. God bless you all.